All right, so there's no more elastic to be found. I did find some online, so I ordered, and it'll be here like in a week. But for now, what to do, because I need to make mask. I'm going to use ribbon instead, and I'm going to make tie backs. So ties around behind your head and behind your neck. Same concept if you were using ribbon. If you were using elastic. I have a really cool technique I'm going to show you. Once you have your 8 by 8.5 cut formed front and back, so this will be the front of the mask, this will be the back of the mask that you put against your face. I'm using muslin and a nice solid cotton, or printed cotton, but a nice thick printed cotton. I'm going to take my clips. You can use pens, but I use these clips. And I'm going to put them in the corners of my ribbon, right? I'm going to do that around all 4 corners, and I'll show you something in just a moment. Okay, as you can see, I have all 4 corners pinned or clipped with my ribbon going downward. So both corners. This goes up, turns up. The ribbon's going to go down. Okay, I'm going to take my ribbon about halfway, and I'm going to start twisting it up. And there's a reason. I'm going to twist that up. I'm going to take an extra clip or pin. Pins work too. I just happen to have these really cool clips. Okay, I'm going to clip that or pin that for now. Put it in my lap, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take that ribbon, ball it up. Instead of using a separate clip, I'm going to use the same clip that I used for the first little wound up spot. So now I have the wound up spot here in the center. All right, now we need our backing. So to do that, let me get my white muslin, get the thread off of it. And then I'm just going to go back over where I just clipped, and I'm going to hold that ribbon to keep it from slipping and clip the front and the back together. And I want right sides together. In doing this, it's going to keep the ribbon out of your way of your sewing machine, so you don't accidentally sew down ribbon that belongs out instead of in. All right, everybody's in there? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with straight stitching, and I'm going to straight stitch this all the way around. I'm going to leave myself about opening about that far to be able to turn it right side out, and I'll be right back. I'll show you that. Okay, so before I turn this right side out, I'm going to trim my seam allowance. And your seam allowance is about 3/8, okay? So I'm going to trim that. I'm going to turn this right side out. You don't see any of the ties. They're all inside. 1 second. Oh yeah, clip your corners. Reduce bulk. Okay, so I've turned this right side out. Man, I still have this hole to worry about. Okay, I can untie my ties. And then if they're still kind of tucked in, just kind of give them a little tug. That'll help pull them out, your corners out, except for the one with the hole. But you can do that one. You can actually go the other way, and then you'll have the bottom, just a little spot at the bottom instead of by your tie. It's a more smarter way to do it. I'm just showing you the technique. So anyways, I'm going to fold those edges in towards the inside. And I'm going to tuck that ribbon down. This is if you do the ribbon side. So just like that, I'm going to tuck that in. And then whenever I top stitch, I'm going to top stitch that, and it will seal it, but then it'll give us a nice top stitch around once I do our pleats, which are next. So I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my iron with some steam, and I'm going to press that folded edge in on top of this. Here, let's get that done first. And I'm going to give it a good press before I put the pleats in it, just so it's nice and crisp. The points are all flat, ready for doing our nice pleats. I'm going to drop down just about a 1/2 inch on this one, this style. Drop it a little bit shorter instead of 1 inch, go to a 1/2 inch. Right underneath that one, I'm going to do another pleat. And directly underneath that second one, I'm going to make a third. Now you're more than welcome to pin your pleats once you've made them. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to use my fingers to hold it. I'm actually making several, and I just wanted to show you how I do this and give you the technique. So let's take this over to the sewing machine. I'm going to put a decorative stitch on it for a top stitch that's going to seal my pleats and put a nice decorative stitch. So right back. Okay, so I've done my top stitch now. Let me trim these threads off. My snips need sharpening. They're starting to be a challenge with this thread, with this thread. Okay. So here is my, and I'll show you over on the side. This is the side that's going to go against your face. This is that decorative stitch I did all the way around it. Same thing on this side. It goes over the pleats. So that way when you pull this open like this, yeah, you can tie it behind your head and behind your neck. So, and it makes a nice face mask. So I hope you learned that technique. Easy peasy. Face sides together, face right sides together. I mean, clip your corners with your pins or your clips for your ribbon to go straight down to where it comes out like this. Once you've sewed your straight stitch around the perimeter, you turn it inside outward. It looks like this. Then you do a nice little top stitch. You can do a straight stitch if you don't have a decorative stitch. Zigzag stitch works. Anything just to seal up your pleats and to seal up that one little hole that's going to be open from where you turned it. Okay? Happy sewing.